just finished up my podcast with Rideshare Rodeo, and it was awesome. I just want to make a quick follow-up video, thank Rideshare Rodeo, and I just wanted to kind of go over some of the things we talked about. But if you want to, learn about more of this in depth, definitely go watch the entire podcast. I think there are like some things we need to clarify with one another, okay? And we're gonna do that. Everyone get your brushes and your erasers.
God, I love cocaine. That's right. That feels good.
I know maybe not everyone has the time to go watch the podcast, so he's really doing a good job of educating people, myself included. Okay, so when I went into this, right, there were a few things. Oh god, now I need... Get the hell out of here. Okay, now I think we can... We're cooking with some mustard here. We got a beautiful artboard here. Okay, so when I was starting to look into this, right, there were 3 laws being passed around that are all doing different things, but it's a little confusing. So there's AB 5, right, that everyone's heard about. Now it's been remastered into something else. Then there's Prop 22, and then last but not least is, I do not think these are the actual names, but this H1234 is Massachusetts. Okay, so what happened basically is AB 5, it was a bill to tighten the independent contractor definition. And they really want to adopt this 3-pronged test to tighten the restrictions on who can and who cannot be an independent contractor. A, the individual is free from control or direction. B, the service is provided outside of the business. And C, an individual can exercise the option to secure workers' comp insurance as the sole proprietor. Now, there's a lot more language in AB 5, and what I've come to discover a lot of the times is these legislatures, lawmakers, they can't always pass everything at once, right? So they kind of take bits and parts and sneak it in.
Remember when Kentucky lawmakers stuck a pension bill into a sewer measure earlier this year? Well, Ohio lawmakers just did a somewhat similar last-minute combo, in this case, attaching the pay raise to a bill which no one would oppose, increasing benefits for spouses and children of fallen first responders.
It claims during this pandemic, some lawmakers are trying to sneak in a bill that would raise taxes on guns and ammunition.
You know what I have to say to that? Fuck you! I am absolutely disgusted.
They'll sneak in what they want in other bills, so this isn't probably encompassing everything they're wanting, but that's why you really have to keep a good lookout. So AB 5 for California, they introduced this 3-prong test, but where did this test come from? At least in Massachusetts, it was introduced around 2004, and like Steve said, it has just been sitting there collecting dust. So in Massachusetts and 33 other states, I can't define how long those other states had it for, but had a version of this 3-prong test, if not an identical test. So a lot of states already had this definition and wording in their Constitution, basically. So my biggest thing was, well, if this AB 5, this 3-prong test, has been in 33 states, why in the world are they just now getting up in arms about it? See, because California didn't have this. California had an old definition of independent contractor. Originally, California's definition of independent contractor was this. It was very relaxed, because obviously the 3-prong test is one of the strictest definitions you can apply when it comes to an independent contractor. But the old definition was, an individual is usually considered an independent contractor when he or she is free to make business decisions which impact his or her ability to profit or suffer a loss. It's just a very vague covering of independent contractors, but it works, right? Like, you're not, yes, it's very vague, and it's probably allowing it to encompass a lot more people than it actually should be, but it's been working so far, and a lot of people actually really enjoy that definition. I can't say that wouldn't have been my favorite definition. That's a great definition. That leaves so many doors open. But what happened, so then California introduces this, they change it, and they start losing Yeah, so they reclassified whole sectors of the economy. And one of the analogies I used in Steve's podcast, and again, this was not my saying, but it makes the most sense, right? So these lawmakers came in with AB5 above their head, aiming for gig companies because they said, "Oh, this is the bad guy." They kind of are bad with some things that they do. Obviously, a lot of us have sentiment towards that, and so they came in waving this big banner, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna go after the gig companies. You know, we're gonna get them. You just gotta sign this, and everyone will be an employee and get benefits and stuff. And we're just gonna change up the definition a little bit, but don't worry, it's only gonna affect the gig workers." That's not what happened.
The problem is you can't just prove one and treat them as independent contractors. You got to prove all three. And I think it's downright impossible to prove all three. It means that if you're a trucking company and in the state of California, you're hiring independent contractors, you might be in violation of AB5.
This is California. Everybody knows Hollywood. Actors, that's where you go to be famous. Well, actors are actually one of the people that are now losing jobs. The state is also being sued by the American Society of Journalists and Authors. This gets rid of all of them. The National Press Photographers Association also had to file suit.
What's up, America?
What's going on, man?
Fucking America sucks.
So for everyone that is still awake, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I just kind of want to lay the groundwork, I guess, a little bit. In part 2, we'll finish talking about Massachusetts, and we'll also get our hands dirty talking about Prop 22 and the big encompassing one that I was told about that I guess is trying to be pushed on a federal level, which is a little more concerning, right? We're gonna finish talking about all of that in part 2. And I also do I actually do have another video. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it out tomorrow. I kind of want to get part 2 out as quickly as possible. But I got this much larger YouTuber than me to react to one of my videos because, you know, I'm trying to learn here and get feedback. So I decided to put myself on the chopping block. I haven't watched it, honestly. It happened about 2 weeks ago. But I kind of wanted to react to that with you guys and see what he says. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. So make sure you bring your tissues and your Neosporin because it might get a little dirty in there. But we'll see. We'll see together. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in part 2. Bye-bye.